Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Not exactly your instant match reaction. I know that many of you commenting in. Do apologise about the lateness, folks, but we're here now to talk about Rangers' victory over Ross County at Ibrox. Just to give you a bit of insight into the delay, myself and Josh are busy working away. We had to hear from Philip Clement, of course, and Cyril Dessers. Not only did we have to hear from them, folks, we have to then transcribe both press conferences. So there's a lot of work that went into tonight's content over on the Rangers Review website. But now I'm delighted to say we're joined by Joshua, and he's in his car because they've turned the lights off at Ibrox, Joshua.
We always joke that we'll be the last ones out, but I think tonight we actually have been the last ones out, Derek. So no gantry, we're in the car. Obviously, we're going to break it down in more detail in the morning. But yeah, big game, Derek. I thought actually it was. I don't even know where to start. In all honesty, obviously the headline will be that Rangers could have scored more from the chances that they had, and that's true. But I also think it's important not to rush by what was a really good performance in terms of creating chances against a team who I think committed a fair amount of numbers forward to give Ross County credit. There was a lot of that Rangers performance that was really good, missed the final touches in a lot of stages, was quite nervy up until the end, Derek, because until that suits our head, all it takes is one slip and County have the numbers committed forward for the game to obviously not materialise in a win for Rangers, which would have been the worst possible outcome. But they get the 3 points. I think another performance which had a lot of good bits to it, but obviously I cannot remember a game like that where there's been quite so many chances, and there's that cliche saying you could have played all night and not scored. Obviously, Rangers did get their third goal, Derek, but at points you just kind of turned around to the person next to you and shook your head because you couldn't believe it that Rangers hadn't found a way to goal. I'm sure that was the same watching on the TV for you.
Yeah, it was almost. I've seen the stats and the XG and what have you, Joshua. We'll discuss it more in detail tomorrow, of course. But yeah, it was almost Braga levels.
It was very Braga levels.
Yeah.
That's true, actually. That's a great comparison.
Yeah, Robert Burns with the points. At XG was 4.55. Going by the radio, you'd have thought it was 10. Yeah, Philip Clement did touch on this in his post-match press conference. It was wave after wave of attack, and he couldn't fault his players. I know we were all hoping for that other goal, Joshua, but it was a very weird game, wasn't it? I mean, Ross County, to the credit, they got level. A good finish from Simon Murray. He's good in front of goal, but defensively, Rangers could have done better there. But that aside, they were pretty much on top throughout the game. If they were a bit more clinical in front of goal, then it could have been upwards of 7 or 8-1. And I'm not being over egging it there with regards to the scoreline. I think Ross County were pretty fortunate to come away with just a 3-1 deficit. I think Don Cow incidentally will do a good job. They looked they were battered at times by Rangers, but they were resolute and they had a goalkeeper in inspired form.
Yes, they did, yeah. And I guess there's two sides to it, Derek. If Rangers, and there was momentum, Clement was urging the players to get the ball back to the centre circle instead of celebrating the John Souttar's header. Rangers corners I thought were terrible tonight. They finally managed to make one count right at the end. Simultaneously, I think there's two sides of it. One, had Rangers scored that goal tonight, yes, it's significant to go top of the league, but it does mean nothing at this point. On the other hand, when you've only got 13 games to go, or 14, whatever it is, goal difference does count. So you can understand the frustration on the other side of things. Ross County's goalkeeper, whose name escapes me now, but starts with a W, and played very well. It wasn't Watkins. It was. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comment section. Spoke very well in his press conference. A young goalkeeper, 22 years old, came on loan, I believe, in January to Ross County. Made a lot of saves. It'll be interesting to look at the numbers tomorrow, and we'll have that all broken down in the morning show. How much was it poor finishing? I think quite a lot. How much did at times the anxiety of the occasion contribute? Sometimes Cyril Dessers literally did it all in that first half, Derek. I mean, he scored his first goal. It was a brilliant strike, and I thought a real parallel to that. You remember that chance he missed against Aberdeen, and Michael Beale's last game in charge asked him about it after, and he said that dynamic with players like James Tavernier, who had three assists tonight. It's just not there in September or August. He hit the post. There was moments where he could have played it back to Matondo. Tavernier had one shot from 12 yards out after Ross McCausland cut the ball back really nicely that he skied over the bar. I'm sure I'm missing loads of chances on top of that as well. And then Ross County, they kind of score out of nothing, but I think simultaneously they played with 2 strikers at points and they left 2v2 up at the top of the pitch at points, which is rare to see at Ibrox, which meant that, again, all it took was one slip or one misjudged header, as was the case, I think, by John Souttar for the goal scored by Simon Murray for Ross County to create that dangerous attack. Simultaneously, that gave Rangers quite a lot of space in midfield, and for that first 30 minutes, I can't remember a game where I've seen as many forward runs through the midfield at Ibrox. But the frustration will be, again, that, okay, it could have been more emphatic, and even going beyond it would have taken one more goal to go top of the league. There was, as you say, Derek, there was a 5-6-7 in that. We joked about it before the game. You predicted 6-0 or something ridiculous like that, but there was the chances.
So after Dessers scores after 5 minutes, I was thinking I was maybe a bit too conservative with my scoreline. I thought Rangers would go then. I was surprised that we had to wait until the end. Well, we had surprised, incidentally, that Ross County equalised for a start, but then we had to wait until the deep into first half stoppage time before Rangers got their noses back in front, and then we had to wait for much of the second half before we got the third goal. So, I mean, it's a strange game, Joshua, but I mean, the Rangers just lacking a bit of cutting edge in that final third, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe, and I guess this will provoke the number 9 discussion again, even though Dessers scores 2. Silva has that one-on-one where he probably thrashes it a bit and maybe should go across the goalkeeper. So, yeah, I mean, I can't see the comments because I'm on my phone, but I imagine there'll be a real mixture of people who there'll be people pleased with the performance, but I imagine in the light of day as well, there'll be frustration. And I think in a way that's the most frustrated you've heard Ibrox. Not that people weren't back in the team, but because it had been so comfortable, and then all of a sudden Ross County are back in it, and they had a couple of dangerous chances, and it can get a bit nervous. So I'm sure there's understandable frustration that Rangers didn't make more out of it. But Clement touched on it in his post-match press conference. He said, look, at his centimetres, the goalkeeper has a really good day, but also it's the next steps to take. He couldn't ask for more from his team. There was just so many moments, so many shots from range. I think it was 43 attempts overall, 4-point-something expected goals. We'll get that firmed up in the morning, and then 23 shots on target. So not for a want of trying.
Yeah, just on the fans, as Joshua's lights have gone off in his car there, he's back on. But interestingly, there was a point coming in here from Joe. He says, atmosphere at 1-1 was unacceptable. Copeland stand giving all the players grief. Kills any momentum we have. Players couldn't have gave any more. Dessers' halftime goal was so important to stop it. I've seen a few comments coming in, not only from yourself, Joe, discussing the fans. And incidentally, the manager was asked about that. We'll bring Joshua back in shortly. Way, there we go.
There. Got a phone call. Same thing happened as last time, Derek. I'm back in.
He was asked, the manager, in his post-match press conference, did the fans need to show a bit more patience? Yes, it's true, but I discussed it with the team before the game. It's normal. That's been a fan. Maybe we need to talk about that more with the fans. It doesn't help, but our players need to be strong to just remain focused on ourselves and not become anxious. I didn't have the feeling on the pitch that happened today, but it's a danger indeed. If you start to live the life of fans on the field, then you'll not reach your goals. So we need to step out of that. I'm really proud of the way the players did that today, because they never became nervous. They only showed hunger and ambition for more and more. A good answer there from the manager, but the fans are going to have their part to play between now and the end of the season, Joshua. What was the atmosphere like there? What was it? Was it a tad, like Joe pointed there, he says it was unacceptable from the supporters? Do you think that's a bit harsh?
I think first and foremost it's a bit of an exceptional game. But you raised that Braga point of view, Derek, which is probably the last game we can think of in our memory at Ibrox of a game where Rangers have dominated so heavily but not scored. That's not going to happen every single weekend, and it hasn't happened. So I think there's a point that it's an exceptional game on the basis of numbers. I think you can understand, because again it's so comfortable, and after that, not only that Dessers goal, but the fact that Rangers keep going, you think, okay, how many goals is it going to be? And suddenly anxiety is thrown into the air because of Ross County's goal. So I think you can understand that. I think the support have really stuck with the team in difficult moments. Again, there was more built around this game because of the whole Rangers could go top of the league narrative that obviously we discussed pre-match. But I think generally, and Clement was right to kind of reflect on this post-match. It's in the heat of the moment. It's right after it. Yes, I'm sure there'll still be frustration tomorrow, but also I'm sure people will look at the game and think, do you know what? This Rangers team have improved considerably. And even, I think before Desser's second goal, it started to get a bit erratic for maybe 5-10 minutes. And there was one moment, I can't remember exactly what happened, but there was something in front of the Copeland. I think it was a chance was given up cheaply, or and it did feel like, okay, they need half time here. But then you need your player, you need the right players in those moments to, I think, to get the atmosphere working back on your side, and it's up to the players to do that. James Tavernier just does that all the time, doesn't he? 3 assists of just such high quality. I thought Todd Cantwell, who we obviously spoke about at length this morning, a good time to plug our podcast. I thought he was really good in moments. Continues to look more like himself. A couple of moments he gave the ball away cheaply. That's going to happen. I thought he had a really good game overall. And then Desser's just, I think the best compliment you can give him is he keeps going, Derek. And he said after the Hibs game away from home, you embrace the pressure where it kills you. And he's right, because even though he'd scored that goal in the first half, people were starting to get frustrated with him, and then he just pops up with a moment which is, I think, probably one of the more difficult chances from my vantage point compared to the other ones he maybe missed. Asked him about that after the game as well. So I think the atmosphere was brilliant at points. It was frustrated at other points, naturally, but clearly I think people are sticking more with the team. As Clement says, that maybe the patience is the thing that comes last, because the synergy's there, but in a game like that, you can understand if you're watching it, it's a frustrating watch, because Rangers really should have been they should have scored a second goal, and that kills the belief of the team, to use a Clement, or borrow a Clement phrase. They didn't, and that almost made half-time a bit uncomfortable, if not for that Cyril Desser's header. Yeah,
it was a typical Cyril Desser's performance tonight. Some good moments. His opening goal was one. Obviously, his second goal, and there's moments where you think he's never seen a football in his life before. Incidentally, one of those shots on target, it did make me chuckle when he sort of ballooned the shot high up into the Ibrox sky, and it was saved by the goalkeeper, George Wickens. So thanks.
Wickens. I wanted to say Watkins. I knew it was something like that. Very good game. He had a very good game.
Yeah, he's on loan from Fulham, so thanks to those who messaged in with his name. But he had a super game tonight. The Ross County goalkeeper stopped it from being an absolute cricket score tonight. But Rangers win by 3-1. We will dissect the game in more detail tomorrow morning, folks. Apologies again for the lateness in the video, but we were working hard away at Ibrox, as you can see. Joshua in the pitch black of his car. Moment in time, it's the darkness.
Gonna try and not get locked in the Albion car park here, Derek. So wish me luck. Look forward to speaking to everyone tomorrow. We'll have a look at the StatsBomb data, which will hopefully shed some more light on who missed the best chance, and we'll speak back, look back on the game in a bit more detail. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, superb stuff. Right, folks, good night, everyone. Sorry for keeping you up so late, but Rangers have won again and are joint top of the Scottish Premiership. We'll speak to you again tomorrow morning. Night, bye for now.